My name's Betty. I'm never good in PE. I'm neither as good in math. I never drew well either. But if there's one thing I think I'm passionately involved with, I think that will be biology. I grew up at a private school where the comfort rooms were clean, classrooms all in order. We also had trash bins that sort different kinds of waste, such as papers, plastics, and other biodegradable stuffs. I never thought it would be way different outside. I mean, we used to do the same practices at home. My mother taught us to manage our trash well. But as I looked beyond what we have at home, it astonished me how people just recklessly dump waste everywhere. And by everywhere, I mean waterways, sidelines of the streets, drainages, and anywhere as creative as your mind can think of. So I thought I'd like there to be a change. I withheld that thinking, watching the same practice causing dilemmas, especially when it rained. It looked to me unbearable. Until one night, it rained incessantly as a powerful storm approached the land. Floods gnawed the streets, and all low-lying households were drenched a feet under murky waters. Economic and domestic losses rose to unimaginable. I watched as people lost homes and loved ones. That's when I thought there's got to be a change. That's when I thought I need to do something. It's when I thought my inactions were too partly to be blamed. So I entered college and enlisted myself to something I'd never thought I'd like to do: teaching. I could have been a scientist. I could have been a chemist. But I thought the society needed someone that would enlighten their minds to things that ran as simple as managing your wastes at home can eventually save lives. I always thought that it is the only reason why I want to teach until the time came. I have never imagined that will happen to my life. There came the time, before I finished my field study in a public high school, a student came to me and asked a little bit of my time for a talk. I was really surprised that time because I never thought that there was even a single student who knows my name and asks me to help her. She told me that she badly needs a help. Her younger sister was raped by their father, and I was the first person whom she told that very sensitive story. At first, I wasn't able to speak because of shock. It was my very first time to hear such story, but thanks to God, I still able to give her the best advice as I could, which I think made her a little bit happy and free. And that's the start of our harmonious relationship as a friend and me at the same time as her teacher. Because of that afternoon, I realized that teaching profession should never be taken for granted, but it should always be a choice. And I'm so glad that I made the right choice. And I can now proudly say to the world that I chose to teach not only to save our environment through educating the youths, but most importantly is that I want to be a big part of every student's life. I do not only want to be their teacher who gives them the lesson, but I want to touch their lives in my own little way as well. 4 years in college has really gone so fast, and I am currently teaching in my high school alma mater for about 5 years. As time passes by, I am noticing to myself that I am falling more in love with teaching profession. Every morning of my life since I started teaching, I always feel very excited to see and teach my students, so I never get late to my class. Whenever I enter the room, I always try to give the brightest and the sweetest smile I have together with my good morning to start our class with good vibes. And before I formally start the discussion, variety of icebreakers are prepared every day for my students to be well motivated. And during the discussion, I make sure that all of my students will be interested and actively participate to the topic. But what I love the most in my 5 years of being with my students is, of course, the bonding that we always have, in good times and even in bad times. You cannot give what you do not have. I will never forget this line which was once told us by one of my professors in college. I may not be the smartest teacher of my students who can give them all the facts and knowledge they need or the richest one who can support them financially. At least, I can still give them the best education they could ever have. Education with love that could be their best weapon to change the world.